We have some really weird news right now. Donald Trump, while speaking to the Navy, either just tried to take credit partially for knowing that Osama bin Laden would commit 9/11 or tried to take credit for killing Osama bin Laden. Either way, if this was Joe Biden, people like Jake Tapper would have a field day right now because I don't really know what he's saying. So maybe you can help me?
I don't want to be politically correct anymore. And history will never forget that it was the SEALs who stormed the compound at Osama bin Laden and put a bullet in his head. Remember that? And please remember, I wrote about Osama bin Laden exactly 1 year ago, 1 year before he blew up the World Trade Center. And I said, you got to watch Osama bin Laden. And the fake news would never let me get away with that statement unless it was true. But I said 1 year before to Pete Hegseth, I said 1 year before, where's Pete? In the book, I wrote, whatever the hell the title, I can't tell you. But I can tell you there's a page in there devoted to the fact that I saw somebody named Osama bin Laden, and I didn't like it, and you got to take care of him. They didn't do it. A year later, he blew up the World Trade Center. So we got to take a little credit because nobody else is going to give it to me. You know?
So I guess he's asking for credit for knowing that Osama bin Laden would blow up the Trade Center on 9/11 in 2001. Spread the word, follow along for more. If this was Joe Biden, Jake Tapper would have a field day.
You know, as a leader, before you stand in front of people and give them a speech as a president, you have to prepare yourself very well. So yesterday, it was on a Sunday, Trump had 250th anniversary of Navy in Virginia. But Trump, his tongue slipped a bit in the statement. I have your video. Watch, I'll come back and explain more on it. Subscribe meanwhile, prepare thoughts, then comment below in the comment section.
You know, we stopped fighting to win. We would have won easy. We would have won Afghanistan easy. We would have won every war easy. But we got politically correct. Let's take it easy. We're not politically correct anymore, just so you understand. We win. Now we win. We don't want to be politically correct anymore. And history will never forget that it was the SEALs who stormed the compound at Osama bin Laden and put a bullet in his head. Remember that? And please remember, I wrote about Osama bin Laden exactly 1 year ago, 1 year before he blew up the World Trade Center. And I said, you got to watch Osama bin Laden. And the fake news would never let me get away with that statement unless it was true. But I said 1 year before to Pete Hegseth, I said 1 year before, where's Pete? In the book, I wrote, whatever the hell the title, I can't tell you. But I can tell you there's a page in there devoted to the fact that I saw somebody named Osama bin Laden, and I didn't like it, and you got to take care of him. They didn't do it. A year later, he blew up the World Trade Center. So got to take a little credit because nobody else is going to give it to me. You know the old story? They don't give you credit, just take it yourself. And it was the U.S. Navy that dumped his wretched corpse off the decks of the Carl Vinson to...
Okay. Trump warned the world about the possibility of the September attack in the 2001 before it happened. So, during his speech at the 250th year anniversary of the U.S. Navy in the Virginia on Sunday, Trump said that he wrote about bin Laden, that Osama bin Laden, but he was killed, unfortunately. So his book published 1 year before the attack and the World Trade Center in New York. The part that referenced bin Laden only briefly in the book identified him as a danger to America. So was not only entirely clear if that was a warning to the U.S. government. So Trump said this, as I quote, "Please remember I wrote about Osama bin Laden exactly 1 year before he blew up the World Trade Center and said, you gotta watch Osama bin Laden."
If you are a U.S. citizen, you need to be concerned. Today, Trump had a meeting in Quantico, Virginia. Today, he stated to the military, we should use Democratic-run cities as training ground for war. Then he continued on to say that Democrats are the enemy from within. He stated, they're very unsafe places and we're going to straighten them out one by one. This is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war too. It's a war from within. He stated, our inner cities, which we'll be talking about because it's a big part of war now. A big part of war. Donald Trump, the President of the United States, just told 800 generals that part of war is attacks on democratic cities, and that those cities can be used as training grounds. Donald Trump just declared war on half of America by calling American cities and its residents the enemy from within. Don't be telling yourself that this stuff's just gonna end fast and quick, because it's not. This is your time to stand up for democracy and for your rights. Open your eyes and realize that this is not normal whatsoever.
Let me ask you, today we are talking about something very, very touching, because Trump as a president, how do you see him as a president, as a leader? Between people who are there as terrorists in the back days and him, who is now the danger to Americans? You know, here we are talking about everybody in America. Elderly, young, rich, poor, people are living in the city, people are living in the rural areas. What really is he trying to imply when that Osama was a threat, the U.S. Navy or the U.S. security? Let's forget about security in the term of security guarding. Trump is now a threat to the security. I mean, I'm talking about food security. Today, very soon, America will not be able to produce some foodstuffs because of Trump's tariff, Trump's deportations. Anytime he do something, it backfires. And I think Trump has just shut down the government. And I was asking myself, if somebody shuts down the government, for how long will he shut it down? Back in the year 2018, Trump shut down the government. It was in December, and then he opened it in 19 January. So that was the longest time the government has been ever shut in America. It was shut for 35 days consecutively. So if she shut down the government, normally we see that people do come in. The people who are working in the office, they go home and then they come back to work in the government, in the office. But this time, Trump just shut down the government just to lay off people in the office. You feel me? So, and Trump was saying like, Chang, you shut down the government and I had no issue with it. So right now, Trump wants to shut it down. Chang is not feeling good about it. The Prime Minister of America, they aren't feeling good about it. The Parliament of America, it ain't about a plan of him shutting down the government, but still shut it down.
Have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wool. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said it.
Okay, you want to put that on my...
You've said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And I am proud.
Now, I was thinking like, if Trump is shutting down the government and then he is sending people off, people being fired from the office. Now, when the government comes back, when they reopen it, he will employ new people in the office. You feel me? You know how he's planning?
I genuinely don't know how much longer we're going to take this and not see that both of these parties are in it together. You guys, as somebody who voted for this administration, I'm never voting again. It's all a sham. But as somebody who took part in voting for this administration, I know that the goal was to cut the fat and to get back to basics. And you guys, as they're standing up there blaming an entire party who doesn't have control for this shutdown, they are reaching their goals and meeting their agenda at the same time while they're getting to offload the blame. And then the Democrats are just blaming the Republicans right back. All the while, Mike Johnson literally told the House Republicans to not show up for work and to let the government shut down. Now you have Vice President J.D. Vance saying that, oh, well, if it continues to linger, then we're going to have to do some layoffs. Like, that wasn't the whole point in the beginning. And I just don't know how much longer we're going to take that they are working against us while they're going to collect a paycheck. The military is not going to collect a paycheck, and they really want you to know that, all the while they're deploying these National Guard troops all throughout the country, authorizing full force against the citizens. And it's just like they want it to collapse and nobody can see it. Everybody's still taking the talking points and blaming the left and blaming the right, and it's exhausting. It's infuriating, and I don't know how much longer you guys are going to take it. I can't bear it anymore. I just don't know how much longer it's going to go on. Take care of your neighbor, you guys, and take care of your own, because no one else is going to take care of you.
If Trump wants to do anything that is against the office, he can't do it while there are people in the office who have been there for the longest time. So he has to fire them, to employ new and unskilled people in the office, to work in the office. America. So that he could be able to do his own things the way he wants, like the way he wants. He could be able to control them the way he wants. Right now, American economy is not about how somebody is powerful, or how it's about money or politics or something. It's about control. Trump is controlling everything in America today. So whenever he goes somewhere, he gives a speech, then the tongue slides somehow. Then he states some bad words. So Trump was even asking people to leave the city for it to be the training ground for the soldiers, security guards. How is Trump carrying the entire America? Like, he's carrying his in his arm like this, like not even like this. This, it's so light in his hand. He can do anything he wants, however he wants it to be done. So American, it's high time you guys wake up and say no to some things, because you are already ruined. The farms are ruined. Economy is ruined. Even live food is ruined. The people are emptying America. They are leaving America for good to other places. They look for a better life, because Trump is ruining your future. It's either sooner or later.
ICE is now going after and detaining all black people in Chicago, including black Americans, regardless of your citizenship status and regardless if you are native to this country.
Lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizenat video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip-tied to each other. That's all.
It appears that ICE agents have been targeting black neighborhoods and specifically apartment complexes where they know majority of the population of those buildings are black Americans who are native to America, ergo American citizens. This was a threat that was told to us by Kamala Harris and many people, that he would send troops after citizens and that he definitely would do his darndest to go after Latinos first, Asians second, and then us. Stay vigilant, stay safe, because who knows what's going to happen. The Governor Pritzker is fighting against Trump now, pushing back on Trump sending in the army and the military, which he's still planning to do. But ICE agents have ramped up their efforts in Chicago over the last couple of days because of this, including now black people.
This is Global Tales. Subscribe, share, and leave a comment in the comment section. I'll come back and reply to every comment that any of you would have given to my video. I love you, and may God bless you, and peace be with you. I'm out.